Hey, what's up? It's Q here, and we're back with another video. Just fix this up a little bit for us, but we're back with another video, and I have a quick message that I just wanted to come and share with you. And I wanted to just share this before I go head out about my day. But there is something that took place this week, and I've just been waiting and trying to allow God to speak to me in the midst of what also was taking place in my life. All right, so I'm going to title this video today, what's keeping you from accelerating? All right, so accelerating as in going forward, going faster, moving, right? So this week I experienced a sudden car problem. With cars, we know they can be very unexpected. There was an issue where the car would shake and have trouble accelerating. In the midst of checking things with the car, it dawned on me just how prophetic this experience was. God was asking a question. What's keeping you from accelerating? In the midst of this experience, I am viewing a movie also. And this movie is called Proverb 31. And if many know about that name there, or that Bible scripture, it's also about the wise woman, right? And while also in the study of Proverbs in a church, okay? So what I said there was that I had this issue with this car, and it was where the car had trouble accelerating. All right, every time you press the gas, it would shake. It had trouble accelerating. And while this was going on, I also was in the midst of my study time. So throughout the week, I'm currently on a video that I was viewing, and it's called Proverb 31. And then also within this church, we're also studying Proverb. So I share that because when the situation took place with this car, and before I get there, many of us know that proverb, it is something that summarizes wisdom, it summarizes discipline, right? And in the midst of the situation with this car, it happened suddenly. I find me someplace to go and get it checked out. All right, I get some news that I was not expecting, that I did not like, and I pay a lump sum of money. After paying this lump sum of money, it's time for me to pick up the vehicle. I pick up the vehicle, and I'm on the go. I have somewhere else to be. And yet when I pick the vehicle up and I'm headed off, it's still not fixed. That there, after paying a lump sum of money, and to anybody with car troubles and having car problems, we just know that that can mess up your day, right? And yet I had to find myself telling myself, this has to be a test. I had to find myself telling myself, just be calm. I know you paid that lump sum of money, but you can't go off on this guy. I had to find myself telling myself, what if God is watching you? What if God is trying to see how you will react in this moment? And I mean, it was definitely hard, because the reality of all of that still was my car was not working or effective the way I needed it to be. I had no one to call. I had no one to ask for help. It was just me and me only. This is how I get around. This is my automobile. And it's still in that moment, I had to talk myself out of getting extremely angry, talking crazy to the mechanic who was fixing the vehicle. I had to be sure that I was mindful of that moment. All of this goes together, and the reason why I'm sharing this today is because just like that car, it had trouble accelerating. Just like that question God was asking, what is preventing you, or what is the reason that you're having trouble accelerating? He wanted to point out, for me specifically, attitude, right? And I noticed this even during the time of studying Proverbs, which I said Proverbs is, to summarize, it is of wisdom and it is of discipline. So I had to discipline myself to remember the wisdom that God has given me to maneuver in this situation so that I can accelerate. The guy ended up telling me to bring the vehicle back the next day. And we know that there's a lot of things going on, things that God has already shown us, gas prices just rising, different things with just money, and everything can be tight. And yet I still had to be positive, not knowing if even after paying that lump sum of money, the issue will even be fixed. So I had to use wisdom. What do I know to do? I know to pray to God. I know to talk to God. I know to believe that, hey, this must be a test. So I'm going to be patient. And the next day comes and the issue is fixed. The issue is fixed. But that's not what stood out to me. The patience part. What stood out to me was the guy himself who fixed the vehicle. He said to me, bring your car back. I see you have something else going on, and I want to take a look at it for you. But bring it back to me. He said, because one thing I noticed about you was your attitude. And he said, you know, there's so many people who blow up on me. He said, but with you, you didn't. It was your attitude. It was so crazy because God had been speaking to me lately about being sure of how we treat his people, right? Being sure of how we treat others. And there God was giving me wisdom, even in a moment when I wanted to be stressed out, even in a moment where it was like, right now I can't hear all of that. This ain't even got nothing to do with that right now. We talking about my car. We talking about I got to get around. We got to do some other stuff. I ain't even thinking about that. That's not even what we're talking. But God said, no, this all goes together. See, with God, he gives you wisdom in all things. That leads me into being able to come and get my vehicle looked at for something that I did not even come for. God says, what is it that's preventing you from accelerating? Now, in my case, he wanted to be sure that I checked my attitude. That may be someone else's case. Yet, in someone else's case, what may be preventing you from accelerating may be a person, a relationship. Just like in the movie Proverb 31, where the women, you have to be sure that if you can't just be a woman to a specific guy if that guy is not a leader to you or following God. What's preventing you from accelerating? Is it the way that you hold tight to your money? What's preventing you from accelerating? We're in the year where things are moving quickly, where God's people will be blessed. And some still find themselves asking, where's the change? When the question really is, what's preventing you from accelerating? Is it you in the way of yourself? So this message, I don't want to get all into too much. I do encourage always to read a scripture. Start with the Proverbs. It is pretty lengthy. So if you are someone who, like me, like to at times maybe just let the audio play, do that. It is helpful. It takes something to, it's another way of letting something maybe take up the time of music or take up the time of television. Just let it play on audio, okay? But I believe that when God gives me a message, that we do have to be careful of sharing everything. But I believe that God also gives us experiences, gives us messages to share with others, because there is someone who needs the help. All right. In the meantime, though, my brothers, my sisters, I love you guys. I pray this message blessed you. Be blessed.